Wow. Well, Rashid, that was amazing. I was so moved by everything that you had to say, apart from your absurd comments about not listening to old people. I know you picked up on it because I was shaking my fist and telling you to shut the F up and whatever. And you did well. There are a few old people that you can listen to, and one of them is sitting here right now. So I forgive you for that lapse. Also, when the gorgeous young lady was asking you about our audience and how to affect the choir and whatever, I was thinking about how would I answer that question. And I'm new to this conversation. I've only been had anything to do with any of this since about 2006. And the story is well known, so I won't go over it again. But since that time, which is like however long ago it is now, 15 years, I've reduced the size of my platform to something that is tiny and enormous in the same breath. And that is Paris 1948 and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So if and when, if I have a suggestion to make to all the young people on the campuses, and now it is global, this movement has grown so much since I got involved in it in the early 2000s now. If I have something that I would say to those people is, this is all, as many of the people who've stood on this platform this evening have pointed out, about narrative. Which story do you believe? Do you believe the Bible, or do you believe something else? Or do you believe nothing, or what? Well, my platform, as I've said, Paris 1948, do we or do we not believe in the basic idea that individual human beings have basic civil and human rights, and the right to freedom and the pursuit of liberty, and all the stuff that we all pretend that we believe in, but certainly if we're successive American governments show palpably we do not, and we never did. And when we were sitting on our plantations with all our slaves, writing all that stuff at the beginning of the creation of this nation that we're standing in today, we didn't believe it then, and we don't believe it now. But Rashid Khalidi and everybody in this room and I, we do believe it. And it's not just for the Palestinians and those who support them, it's for all our brothers and sisters all over the world, irrespective of their color or their creed or their race or their nationality or any other distinguishing factor, because they're our brothers and sisters. And that is what gives us our power and what makes us so powerful, because we are driven at the end of the day by love. So, what else have I got to say? Very little. When I was coming out here, and I knew I was going to come here, and I knew that somebody would go, oh, couldn't you just... I printed out a whole bunch of things, and it was a stack of paper about that thick of me ranting at some point over the last 15 years. And at the end, I decided I would leave it all at home and only bring one sheet of paper with me. And it's a hobby horse of mine, but I hope it will amuse you. I hope Mark Seddon is watching us and listening to this, because this is one of the things I read out on Palestine Deep Dive a couple of weeks ago on the telly. And it's a way of me communicating with a colleague of mine in the music industry, who's an Australian chap, who I'm absolutely certain means well, but has got this all completely wrong. His name's Nick Cave, and he has a pop group called Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, which I've always thought is an extremely appropriate name. I hope he doesn't plant any of the seeds and that none of them bear fruit, because his general ethos rubs me up the wrong way. And so, anyway, I did ask Nick Cave a number of years ago to forego his trip to Tel Aviv to sing his daft songs to an audience of Israelis because of boycott, because of cultural sanctions, of which I'm a part. And he sort of told me to F off. And he did it in some extremely offensive ways. There was a long article printed in the Guardian newspaper in London where he described my attachment to the movement that I'm attached to, that is all about everything that we've been talking about this evening. He described my attachment to that movement as cowardly and shameful. Ooh. Yeah, okay, Nick. Could I have a glass of water, please? Thank you, because I'm drying up slightly. Not my thoughts and feelings or my ideas or my passion or my love, but my mouth. I just need a glass of water. Thank you. Oh, thank you. That's better. I'm nearly done. It's only that. So I wrote something, because I'm a writer, Mohammed as well. I write odd bits and pieces of this. In fact, I've discovered in lockdown that I can write prose. I have written a memoir that's nearly 600 pages long now. So I'm not going to sign copies like Rashid did, but that'll be out in a year or so. So I wrote this one-page thing. It's called The Road to Damascus. So me and this Aussie bloke are walking down the road on the way to a gig. Just as we get there, we see these heavily armed soldiers on the other side of the road, knocking this Arab bloke to the ground, kneeling on him, kicking him in the head, and beating him with their rifle butts. I cross over to remonstrate with them. The soldiers told me to fuck off or they'll arrest me. Are you all right? I asked the bloke. Daft question. Can I help? Yes, he says. You're musicians, yes? Yes, I reply. They have stolen our land, he says. We are resisting them. There is a cultural boycott. Please don't do a gig here. As he is dragged away towards the paddy wagon, he tosses a small, round metal badge in my direction. I return to the other side of the road where the Aussie has been watching events unfold. Did you see that? I say. Yeah, bummer, he replies. Come on, we've got a gig to do. No, I say. There's a cultural boycott. That Arab bloke is a victim. The soldiers are perpetrators. We have a moral duty to stand with the victim. Don't you try and bully me, you shameful, cowardly, pommy bastard, says the Aussie, and pushes past me into the gig. I reach down into the dust, retrieve the BDS badge, and pin it to my lapel. That's the story. And that's all I have to say. Except, I think we're done. And thank you all so much for coming. Not that it's my party, but I'm really glad that I came, because I feel the love in this room. Okay, and it's so important to the struggle that we're all in. All right, that's all I've got to say.